Hi, my name's Dania.
Hi, my name is Jemiah,
And welcome to the Dope Student Podcast. So today we have a very special guest.
Hi, I am Dr. Deborah Carrera. I am the Chief Education Officer with the Mayor's Office of Education.
Dr. Carrera, thank you so much for joining us. To start, can you tell us what initially sparked your passion for education growing up in Philadelphia?
Sure, absolutely. So I am Puerto Rican. My father and mother are Puerto Rican, born and raised in North Philadelphia near 9th and Cambria. And when I was a little girl, my parents did divorce when I was young, but my mother made sure that I went to an elementary school that was a bilingual school. So it was a school that they taught me how to speak Spanish. They taught me how to read in Spanish. And then there were a lot of teachers that looked like me. And my principal was Puerto Rican. So I didn't know back then what I know now, that I was very, very blessed to go to an elementary school where teachers looked like me, talked Spanish, and encouraged me to speak Spanish and to write in Spanish and to learn about Puerto Rico. So the minute I saw teachers that looked like me and I saw a principal that looked like me, I said, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a teacher. And I knew that at a very young age.
You began your teaching career at the same elementary school you attended as a child. What was it like returning to teach kids from the same neighborhood where you grew up?
Oh, man, it was really exciting to go back to Potter Thomas Elementary School at 6th and Clearfield because, again, I grew up about 5 minutes away from there. So when I started teaching, I was 21 years old, and I thought I could conquer the world. And my first year teaching was the hardest year of my life because I went to Temple University, and I thought I was ready. I thought I was prepared. But when I walked into the classroom and I had students that were reading at all kinds of different reading levels, and then what we know, right, our children come to school with so many problems and so many issues. And I wasn't ready for that initially. But I didn't quit. I stayed. And so I enjoyed working at Potter Thomas. I loved my kids. I loved my school. And it was just such an honor. When I went back to my elementary school, I had the same principal that was my principal when I was a girl, was my principal now as a teacher, Felicita Melendez. So I had the opportunity to be a part of her retirement as well.
You've been a part of the School District of Philadelphia for over 27 years. Moving from teacher to principal and then assistant superintendent, what were some of the biggest challenges and rewards in each of these roles?
Those are great questions. I did go from teacher to assistant principal. I was assistant principal at Elkin Elementary at D in Allegheny. And then I went to McKinley Elementary on Diamond and Orkney. And then I was the principal at Kensington Kappa on Front and Berks. And then I was assistant superintendent, like you said. I think some of the challenges that I experienced were, you really, when you are a leader and you have a passion and education worked for you. So, right, I grew up poor. My mom did not finish school. My mom finished 6th grade, my father 4th grade. So in every role, I've come with that fire of we have to help kids, like now. And some people don't have that same urgency of helping kids. And then the challenges of barriers, right? Some of the barriers that are created financially, right? Like in these roles, I wish I had money that I could give schools thousands and thousands of dollars, and I can't do that, right? And I know that money and funding is really critical to help young people get what they need. So recently, the Commonwealth court system found that the way schools are funded is unconstitutional, meaning that schools are not getting, you all are not getting the actual funding that you deserve for your education. So those are the things and the challenges that frustrate me, that we know public education should be getting a lot more funding. It's coming, but it's not coming at the rate that we need it.
How has your personal journey influenced your goals and priorities as the Chief Education Officer for the City of Philadelphia?
Well, I mean, for me, I value family, and I think that's something beautiful in Latino culture that we bring. And so family is a very core value to me. So when I was a teacher, I treated my students like my family. When I was a principal, I treated my teachers and my students like my family. And I would say to my students, we're with each other more sometimes than when we are with our own family. When you're a principal, you're in a school from 7 o'clock to 6. And then when you go home to feed your kids and put them to sleep, and then you're back to it again. So, family is really important, how we treat each other. And when I was assistant superintendent, I treated my principals, I was overseeing 19 principals, as if they were family, because I knew that they were impacting their schools as well. So I've always brought that value of people will always remember not what you said, not what you did, but they're always going to remember how you treated them. They will always remember if you treated them kindly and if you treated them with dignity. And I think for me, that's the most important in this role as Chief Education Officer, how I treat people, from students to staff to politicians, is very critical for me.
What are some of the primary goals or initiatives you're working on alongside Mayor Cheryl Parker to enhance education in the city?
These questions are so good. We need a copy of these questions so we can give it to other people. One of the mayor and our mayor, I'm so excited to work for her. She's the first woman mayor. Clap her up. Yes. First African-American woman mayor. And again, like the first woman mayor in 100 years, right? So she has a huge job, but she is the right woman for the job. And one of the things that Mayor Parker has charged me to do is it's called Extended Day, Extended Year. So it's not what people thought in the beginning. It's not that we want kids to go to school 365 days a year. That's not what it is. Extended Day, Extended Year is exactly what you're all doing. It's giving students the opportunities to learn more, to do more. And so all students should have this opportunity to learn more, to explore. So Extended Day, Extended Year is, we're doing it in 25 schools. I know Mayfair's not one of them, not yet. But parents can choose to have their kids in school at 7:30 for before school, and then they can have their kids in after school till 6 o'clock. Parents can put their kids in winter camp. They can put their kids in spring camp, or they can do a summer program. So that's where you get the extended year. But it's all about giving kids opportunities like this, right? Kids should have access. Every kid in Philly should know how to do a podcast. Every kid in Philly should learn about like solar energy. Every kid in Philly should be learning all these things because like I think one of you said it, right? Whether you choose to do this as a career or not, the fact that you have all these skills, it's going to improve your quality of life. And so how do we not want this for every student? So extended day, extended year is a big part of my job. And then the other big part of my job is across the nation, not just Philadelphia, we're struggling to find teachers, and especially teachers of color. So we look at Philadelphia, 35% of our students are kids of color, Black kids, Latino kids, but we only have like a small percentage of teachers of color. So you're very lucky also to have a teacher of color because that is not the norm for many kids. So my job is also to encourage people to be teachers, to help people see that teaching is dope. No pun intended. It is dope. And it's one of the best careers in the world because, you could go to a dentist and that's great. But, you don't always go back to your dentist 10 years ago and say, thank you for filling my cavity, right? But a teacher, I can't tell you how many times I could run into a student at Wawa, Target, that I taught years ago. And they'll say, you changed my life, right? Or I was their principal. You changed my life. Just this weekend, I was with a young lady, Angelica. You changed my life. What other career do you get where people can say to you, you changed their life? Be a teacher. I'm telling you, it's the best career.
Philadelphia schools may face many challenges for building maintenance to ensuring access to educational resources. How do you and your team prioritize these issues to make a positive impact?
I love that. We work very, very closely with Dr. Wallington, who is the superintendent with the School District of Philadelphia. And as I said before, our mayor, she's dope also, and she is very involved in working with the school district, especially in facilities. So right now the school district is having listening sessions with families. They have a whole bunch of them because they are going to be developing a facilities plan. And the facilities plan is basically going to help show what are the things that have to be fixed in schools. Because all schools have different issues. And so the facilities plan is going to be really important, having people work on that plan. And hopefully that plan is going to be developed in December of 2025. where the district and the city is going to really work on making sure that we are building schools or renovating schools or maybe relocating schools so that you all can have what you need to be your best selves and best education. Get your best education.
You've championed year-round educational opportunities and out-of-school programs for Philadelphia's youth. Can you share more about these initiatives and how they benefit students?
Absolutely. So, there's some kids, and I don't know if your school, there's some kids that have access to robotics and some kids don't. And there's some kids that have access to like really cool STEM stuff and some kids don't. So extended year, like a year, extended day, extended year is about, like I said before, what do we give you all that a kid that goes maybe to like Lower Marion, a suburban school, gets, right? A kid that goes to a private school, Springside Chestnut Hill. Well, guess what? We all don't have $50,000 or $40,000 to pay for tuition. So you all should have access to the same stuff that those kids get, even if your parents don't have $40,000 to pay for that. And so I'm excited because I want to do all kinds of things. Like I'm envisioning like a STEM day. I'm envisioning like engineering day. I'm envisioning horseback riding. I got big goals and plans. Robotics for girls, building robots and competing. So you all, you're encouraging me because you're telling me you can build a bathroom, so then you can build a robot.
Modernizing school buildings is a big focus area right now. Can you talk about the progress and what you envision for the future of Philadelphia schools?
Yeah, as I said before, the district is in the process. So please tell your parents to go to these listening sessions. Tell your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, go to these listening sessions. It's on the school district website, philasd.org, so that you can tell people what you want to see in your schools, right? So the district wants to hear from you before they decide anything. And so modernization is so important. It's a big word, but all modernization means is this. You should have schools that have chemistry labs that actually work. You should have schools that have art studios, visual art studios, right? You should have schools, if your school has a dance program, you should have a dance studio. If your school has athletics, your gym should be a state-of-the-art gym. So modernization is so important. And like what you're doing today, like giving students access to technology, so that's critical as well.
What message do you hope to impart to Drexel University's? Maybe we want to like find out like what you're doing with them or what you impart with them.
Because I did speak at their graduation last year. So I spoke at the Ed Prep. So we do work with Drexel. Drexel is the Dean of Education, Dean Foster, is part of a group that we call the Citywide Talent Coalition. And this is a group of partners from all over the city of Philadelphia, colleges, nonprofit organizations, the district. And we are working together to try to solve for the teacher pipeline and create more teachers and produce more teachers. So Drexel, Temple University, Chestnut Hill, UPenn, St. Joseph's, and many more. We have many more partners that are helping us work towards how do we solve this CCP, now that I'm talking about that. So CCP has a program called the Cato Scholarship. I want all listeners to hear this. You can go to college for free. Did you hear what I said? You could go to CCP for free. It is called the Octavius Cato Scholarship. Not only will you go to college for free, but they provide a stipend for you. That means they give you some funding to help you. They give you a success coach to help you stay the course. So you go to CCP, you can study teaching, you can study cybersecurity. I don't know if they have some CTE stuff, right, that you can do as well for free. Did y'all hear me say for free? Did you hear me say for free?
Yes.
For free. You could go to CCP. And then once you graduate there, you could go right into Temple. You could go you could go to Cheney. You could go to Chestnut Hill. You could go to different colleges. So if I really want you to know, Cato Scholarship, if you don't remember anything else, remember that I said the Cato Scholarship, okay?
As a longtime advocate for students and families, what advice would you give to young educators entering the field who may face similar challenges?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Nothing in life is easy. Nothing in life is easy, right? Like, we have to, we just can't quit the first time things don't go our way, or, we think that it wasn't supposed to be this way, or this is not what they showed me in college. In any career you choose, you're going to have challenges. There's a learning curve. You got to get your feet, wet. It's a saying. You usually you usually learn really how to teach into 3 years, right? You got to practice and practice and I think that can be said about any career, right? Like, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, but give yourself grace and don't quit, because students who are struggling, students who are not struggling, they need us. They need us. They need us. And again, like I said before, teaching is one of the most noblest careers where you leave a lasting impact in someone's life, on someone's life.
Looking back on your career, what's one accomplishment you're most proud of, and what legacy do you hope to leave in Philadelphia's education system?
One accomplishment that I'm most proud of. That's a great question. And the legacy. I'm going to say, so when I became a high school principal, I became the principal of Kensington. And Kensington was a school that was on the persistently dangerous list. This was a school that I think we were at almost 300 something suspensions when I got it. I remember when I walked into Kensington, nobody went to class. It's like if I walked into your school and everybody's in the hallway, what would happen? Chaos, right? Nobody was going to class. Not only did the kids not go to class, they didn't even bring a book bag. So kids would come to school and it was like nothing was happening. When I mean nothing, maybe one class, there was some learning, right? And it's not that the teachers didn't want to. There was a disconnect. They didn't understand each other. The students, the teachers didn't understand each other, right? And so we had a lot of issues at Kensington at the beginning. A lot of fights, lots of it. Kids at the dismissal, people would come, fights. So we had to change the culture of that school. So what does that mean? That means that I had to work with my staff to help them understand this is not acceptable. That every student that came into Kensington had the right to go to college if they wanted to, or had the right to go into a trade school. But the most important thing I told my teachers, that we had to treat our students the way we treat our own children, right? So what do I want for my kids? If I want the best for my kids, then I need to treat the kids that are in my school the same way. So we started to shift things around. And I'm going to be honest, I was a strict principal. So you couldn't bring cell phones into school. We would collect them. Oh, y'all don't like this part of the interview, but that's okay. Only because at that time they were using their cell phones to call people to fight. So that was what was happening. But we put a lot of rules in place, a lot of structure. And when I saw that kids didn't have book bags, we started buying book bags. When I saw that kids didn't have notebooks, we bought notebooks. Every kid got 5 notebooks. Every kid got 5 notebooks. Every kid got pencils. Every kid got papers. I try to remove all the excuses so that when you came to school, you were a student, and our job was to teach you and get you where you need to be. And then I just started to bring in all kind of people, college people, actors, athletes, just showing kids what they can dream and do. So we took that school that was on the persistently dangerous list, Kensington Kappa. Nobody wanted to go to that school. Turned it into a school where kids want to go to that school. They have an amazing cinematography program. They have an amazing commercial advertising program. It's a school where kids can go to college, trade school. They have a dance program. They have a music program, a choir. So we did all these great things. I look at that as the most exciting, rewarding experience of my life.
Lastly, for those interested in learning more, wanting to get involved in supporting Philadelphia's schools, how can they make an impact?
I think the biggest thing, and I appreciate your teacher, I think that there are so many people out there that want to help. So the School District of Philadelphia has a fund called the Philadelphia Fund, and that is a fund where people can donate. People can make financial if someone wants to donate $5,000 to this program, they can do it through the Philadelphia Fund. So I would tell, the citywide, people don't know about this program. They're gonna know after today. I mean, people do know. People know about the program, but I'm gonna also use my pulpit to talk about your program, because this is something that there are people that want to fund things. They just don't know how to do it. So through the Philadelphia Fund, that's a great opportunity through the school district that money could go through there to help programs like this.
Lastly, is there any social media platforms we can follow you on?
Wow. I would say follow me on LinkedIn. And then my Facebook and Instagram is private.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you guys for watching another episode of the Dope Student Podcast.
Bye. Oh, this is so cool.